The May 4th 50th anniversary is being celebrated with a concert, and the headliners are some pretty big names.
Presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg is set to participate in his first debate tonight. However, it might not be a warm welcome from his rivals. We have the details.
The Boy Scouts of America might be in danger of shutting down, but what are local scouts doing to prevent this in the area?
How an Ohio congressman is fighting for easier access to life-saving prescriptions, where he currently stands and his efforts now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Gianna DaPra.
And I'm Chris Abreu.
Kent State announced yesterday the performers for the May 4th benefit concert. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Joe Walsh and David Crosby will be headlining the show. Proceeds from the show will go towards the May 4th Legacy Scholarships, created for the students majoring in the university's Peace and Studies program. The concert is May 2nd and will be held in the Mack Center on campus. Tickets go on sale March 6th at 10 a.m.
Kent State will be offering free eating disorder screenings for National Eating Disorder Screening Day. Students will have the chance to fill out a form and talk to mental health professionals about their screening score. The event will be taking place tomorrow in the Student Center Ballroom from 12 to 4 p.m.
3 Portage County Sheriff road deputies have been placed on administrative leave. Sheriff David Doak says the decision comes after policy violations were made. Doak did not give out the name of the deputies or the specific policy violations. However, he says they are not involved with the investigations into the jail. He says the sheriff's office is understaffed and deputies may have to start working overtime.
A man from Akron was arrested today for assaulting and robbing a health aid worker on February 1st. Police say 59-year-old David Florence followed the worker into an apartment building on Diagonal Road and then punched the aide several times, who was with a patient in a wheelchair at the time. Florence was identified through a picture display, and he confessed to the crime and received charges.
Portage County, I'm Rachel Gross with your Wednesday evening weather report. Now, this afternoon we were really seeing that sun here in Kent, but not feeling that heat. Temperatures are around 30 degrees right now, feeling more like 26, and we have a little bit of wind coming in from the northwest at 11 miles per hour right now. And unfortunately, the temperature is only going to get colder. 26 degrees tomorrow, very cold. A little bit of wind at 9 miles per hour, but we might be seeing a little bit more sun tomorrow as well. Now, looking all across northeast Ohio right now, you can see we're all pretty much in the same boat right now. 30-degree temperatures, 37 in Canton and 27 up in Ashtabula. That's a 10-degree difference about. And also looking across the state right now, once again, 38 in Columbus, and down in Cincinnati and Athens, we're seeing a little bit warmer temperatures of around like 40 degrees, but up in Canton, we're sitting in the low 30s. And that's all I have for right now. In my next forecast, I'll let you know when those cold temperatures will hit.
In Ohio's March 17th presidential primary begins today. You can cast your vote at the Portage County Board of Elections in Ravenna or vote absentee by mail. If you decide to vote Democratic, Joe Biden, Mike Bloomberg, Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders, Tom Steyer, and Elizabeth Warren will appear on the ballot. You can find your polling location and more information at the link below.
Democratic presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg participates in his first debate tonight. 5 other candidates are slated to be on the stage with Bloomberg just days before the Nevada caucuses Saturday. Arilet Sainez has the latest.
Michael Bloomberg on the debate stage for the first time tonight, but he won't be receiving a warm welcome from his Democratic rivals.
Anybody here worth $60 billion, you can run for president.
Bloomberg has spent over $400 million in TV, radio, and digital ads across the country. But his team argues there is more to his campaign than money.
Mike believes that Donald Trump is an existential threat to this country. His reelection poses a huge, enormous challenge to America, so he will spend whatever it takes to get Donald Trump out of office.
The former New York City mayor holding mock debate sessions in recent days to prepare. 3 candidates previewing their attacks on Bloomberg at CNN town halls last night.
I actually thought he should be on the debate stage because I don't think you should just be able to buy your way to the presidency.
But I do think it's a bit obscene that we have somebody who, by the way, chose not to contest in Iowa, in Nevada, in South Carolina, in New Hampshire. He said, I don't have to do that. I'm worth $60 billion.
Do you think Michael Bloomberg is trying to buy the Democratic nomination for president?
Yes. What else do you call it when you dip into your endless reserves of millions and billions and don't go through the process of campaigning?
Pete Buttigieg, who leads the delegate count right now, also taking aim at frontrunner Bernie Sanders.
We're asking people to choose between a revolution and a billionaire. I just don't think that's speaking to where most of us are right now.
Sanders trying to disavow the tactics that some of his supporters have taken.
There are people out there who want to divide the progressive movement. We can have a debate about the issues, but I do not believe in online bullying. End of discussion.
I'm Elizabeth Warren. I'm the woman who is going to beat Donald Trump.
Elizabeth Warren losing her voice on the campaign trail, but tweeting this, apparently comparing Bloomberg to Trump, writing, at least now primary voters can get a live demonstration of how we each take on an egomaniac billionaire. Joe Biden is hoping for a strong finish in Nevada after disappointing showings in Iowa and New Hampshire.
We choose unity over division. We choose compassion over cruelty. And maybe most importantly, we choose truth over lies. Truth over lies. So folks, it's time for us to get up.
Andrew Yang is trading campaigning with commentary. The entrepreneur and former presidential candidate has been hired by CNN as a political commentator. It's unclear what shows Yang will appear on, but he will start on the network tonight for the Democratic debates. Yang has yet to endorse a candidate, but he said he would be honored to be someone's running mate.
And the Boy Scouts of America have recently filed bankruptcy, but the 4,800 scouts in the Summit, Portage, and Medina County areas will not let that affect their program. Counties in Ohio are a part of the Great Trail Council of Scouts, and leaders say they will stay intact. The Great Trail Council Scout Executive Patrick Scherer says they have nothing to do with these abuse cases and they should be able to escape litigation. And coming up, see how Kent State's latest musical production connects to May 4th.
And a body discovered in Cleveland has police wondering how. Stick with us.
And it's pretty sunny right now, but the next few days might not be feeling that heat. Stick around to find out when you'll need your hat and gloves.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at kentwired.com.
Kent State's Spring Internship, Co-op, and Career Fair will be held on February 20th from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. in the Student Recreation and Wellness Center. This event is open to all students, all majors, all Kent State campuses, and all alumni that are seeking internships, co-ops, full-time, part-time, and on-campus student employment opportunities. For more information about the drop-in sessions, schedule, or the career fair, please visit kent.edu/career or register in the Handshake app.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back. Police in Cleveland are investigating after finding a dismembered, burning body earlier today. The fire department responded to a report of a fire near Claremont Road where they found the body burning. Cleveland police are conducting an ongoing investigation. Stick with TV2 for more information on this developing story. And a jail guard in Cuyahoga County, John Wilson, pled guilty today to assaulting an inmate and got probation for the offense. The inmate suffered brain trauma and loss of teeth. One of his teeth got stuck in his nasal cavity. The guard was sentenced to 3 years of probation, with the judge saying that his former co-workers would likely give him special treatment if sentenced to jail time.
An Ohio congressman introduced a bill that would reduce the cost of EpiPens and glucogen for 18-year-olds and younger. State Representative John Rogers proposed the bill, which would make the cost of the saving life prescriptions a max of $100 each. EpiPens are used to treat severe allergic reactions, and glucogen is for low blood sugar, both known for increasing their high costs. The bill now waits for a referral to a committee in the Ohio House. And police were called in Arlington Circle about a man who was not breathing at his home. The 29-year-old died of head trauma, but the reason is unknown. Officials say the bedroom conditions could have been unsafe. There was unknown chemicals, lab equipment, and bomb-making materials found in his room, including several pipe bombs, where one was live. Other houses around the area were evacuated, and the Bay Village Service Department transported the items safely to be destroyed. And for the spring musical, Kent State's Theater and Dance Department will put on a show for the parade. Our reporter Camryn Calderwood has the story. Hi, Camryn.
Hi, guys. Not only is this show full of well-written music and memorable staging, its representation of social justice also connects to Kent State's 50th annual commemoration of May 4th. Take a look.
This Friday, the Kent State University Theater and Dance Department will put on their opening performance of the musical Parade. Tackling issues such as anti-Semitism, racism, and overall prejudice, this show is dark, yet important in our current social climate.
I'm here at the Center for Performing Arts box office where I'm picking up my ticket for Parade. So how did Kent State choose this particular musical, and why should audiences come see it?
I sat down with the cast and crew of the show to answer these questions.
For May 4th and the commemoration of May 4th, the School of Theater and Dance tried with all of their shows to pick things that focused on the themes of social justice.
And with so many social issues being explored in the musical, making sure the show is just as educational as it is entertaining is important to the crew.
Parade is based on the trial of Leo Frank in 1913 Atlanta, Georgia. It is based on a real trial. The significance of my role as a part of the dramaturgy team is to provide the cast, the crew, and the community with as much historical evidence as possible.
Along with the social justice aspect of it and the fact that it takes on these important themes was the opportunity to try to do programming around it that would help support the show.
We're having experts and historians come in from various departments around Kent State talking about anti-Semitism, racism, the Ku Klux Klan, the Jim Crow South. We wanted to ensure that as many perspectives could be heard and to leave room for people to think and to question.
This story shows us how little we've come in such a long amount of time and how much further we have to go.
And if you want to purchase your ticket to see Parade, you can visit the Stump Theater box office or get it online at kentstateticketing.universitytickets.com. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
Welcome back to your Wednesday night weather report. As you can see, Thursday temperatures here getting a little bit colder as we head it throughout the day. This light blue right here being around 20 to 30 degrees. That's just a couple degrees cooler than what we're seeing right now. But moving into Friday morning, this dark blue that's the teens, maybe even single digits that's going to come down from Canada and completely encompass Ohio. And then as we get into Friday afternoon, those temperatures are going to go back up, green being 30 to 40 degree temperatures. So it's going to warm back up a little bit, but just for tomorrow and even into Friday morning, make sure you're staying bundled up, staying warm. Those temperatures are going to drop into Friday morning. So if you're heading out then, if you have class or a job, Make sure you're staying warm, but then by the afternoon you can shed that coat, you can shed those gloves, and it'll be nice and warm throughout your weekend as well. Taking a look at the 7 days, you can see Saturday and Sunday getting pretty warm, 45 on Saturday and 49 on Sunday. Getting up near 50 degrees, but not quite there yet. As you can see, sunny throughout the entire weekend, but then getting into the beginning of next week with those Monday blues comes the clouds again. Rain is possible on Monday, but we're definitely going to be seeing some rain maybe on Wednesday, but definitely some clouds to start your week off next week. And that's all I have for you tonight. Portage County, stay warm and enjoy the sun this weekend while it lasts.
Thank you, Rachel. As the death toll for the coronavirus reaches 2,000, the quarantined individuals from the cruise ship in Japan were released earlier today. Despite the quarantine ending for many, there were those who were tested positive for the virus. Among them, this has caused the biggest outbreak of the virus outside of China. 75,000 people are now infected as of this morning. Health officials voiced optimism since the daily rate of infection decreased over the past 2 days. How's Burger King's new advertisement reassuring yet disturbing at the same time?
Asked, are they more disorganized than the Browns? More after the break.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Thank you for sticking with us. President Donald Trump shortened former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich's 14-year prison sentence for political corruption. Blagojevich returned home to Chicago early this morning after serving only 8 years of his 14-year sentence. He was convicted in 2011 for trying to sell an appointment to a Senate seat, as well as trying to pressure a children's hospital for money. He denies committing these acts to this day. And President Trump requested that top Pentagon policy official John Rood resign earlier today. Rood warned the president about withholding military aid to Ukraine last year. He's also the latest senior national security official involved in the Ukraine controversy to be forced to resign following President Trump's acquittal. Trump wrote in a tweet that he was grateful for Rood's service and wished him the best of luck.
The jury for Harvey Weinstein's rape trial begins their second day of deliberations. This comes after the jury asked the judge to legal clarification of the charges that could send Weinstein to prison for the rest of his life. During the trial, the jury heard from 35 witnesses. The 67-year-old Hollywood producer is now charged with 5 felony counts for allegedly raping one woman and performing a forcible sex act on another. He pleaded not guilty to all charges and claims any sexual encounters were consensual. And Donald Trump is being accused of forcibly grabbing a former WWE star. Eve Perez went to Instagram Monday talking about how President Trump grabbed her during a 2009 photo shoot with the company. She says, quote, "It is actually hard for me to see that the photo because it reminds me of my beliefs and my worth at the time." She added the picture of the incident where multiple WWE stars were photographed as well.
And Ryan Newman was finally released from the hospital today after his crash in the Daytona 500. He was released a whole 2 days after the accident from a hospital in Daytona Beach, Florida. Doctors say he seems to be on the road to a full recovery. Newman's wreck was on Monday night when he was leading the race and made contact with another vehicle, causing him to spin into a wall and fly up into the air.
Hi everyone, a lot of Kent State news today, so let's start with men's basketball. They were on the road last night in Ypsilanti, Michigan to take on Eastern Michigan, and it was quite the offensive struggle for the Flashes, shooting under 30% from the field, resulting in only 49 points, their lowest since 2014. Danny Pippen was the only Flash in double digits yesterday as he got his 6th double-double of the year, and Kent State will be back in action on Friday against Buffalo at home at 7, and that game will be on ESPN2. And before we get to that, though, I do want to take a look at the MAC standings and what things would look like if the season ended right now. Akron, Bowling Green, Northern Illinois, and Buffalo, they would all be getting a bye to Cleveland, and Kent State, they would have a first-round home game against Western Michigan, and the Flashes are only 1 game out of the top 4. So anything can change from now until the end of the season, especially playing Buffalo. Now moving to the women, Kent State is in 4th place in the conference, but will be taking on Central Michigan tonight. And the Chippewas are in 1st place and are undefeated in the conference thus far. Kent State coming off an 87-point performance against Toledo on Saturday, their best offensive performance in over a year, but Central Michigan is no joke. The last time the Flashes beat them was in 2012, but if the ladies are firing on all cylinders, it's anyone's game. That will start at 7 tonight in Mount Pleasant. The women's basketball team isn't the only team being tested today, as the baseball team took the field in Florida at 6 to take on the nation's top-ranked team, the Miami Hurricanes. The Flashes come into this midweek game 2-1, and after a strong first weekend performance. These two teams have met only two times in the past, Miami winning both times, last time being in 2007. Now to the softball field, there's already some hardware being handed out to the Flashes. Starting pitcher Andrea Scaly being honored with MAC Softball Pitcher of the Week after dominating teams left and right this past weekend. Scaly recorded 32 strikeouts through 3 games while allowing batters a .07 batting average. This is the 7th time she has received this award, and she'll be back on the mound in Arkansas on February 28th. Now let's take it to Cleveland, where even though it's the All-Star break, the Cavs are in the news. Head coach John Beilein and the Cavs are officially parting ways. Beilein was hired in the offseason from the University of Michigan. He went 14-40 this season, which is so far the worst in the Eastern Conference and the 2nd worst in the NBA. I wanted to quickly take a look at all the Cleveland coaches since 2013. If you're keeping score, the Cavs made this a tie game. Both the Browns and the Cavaliers have had 6 different head coaches on their team. The only difference, the Cavs have been to 4 finals and got a trophy while the Browns haven't even seen the playoffs. The Cavs will be back on the court tomorrow in Washington. Now finally, moving on over to the ice, the Pittsburgh Penguins are fighting for 1st place. Let's take it to Pittsburgh, where a beautiful skyline we see in Pittsburgh, a beautiful city. We're going to see in the first period, Sidney Crosby, he's going to pass it over to Brian Rust, and he scores. Penguins are on the board. They lead 1-0. Here's Sam Lafferty. He's going to fire it in, but Anthony Angelo, he gets the tip in, his first career goal for his NHL career. Penguins lead 2-0. Now Pittsburgh up 3-0. Patrick Hornquist, he'll find Sidney Crosby. Easy goal for him. Puts the Penguins up 4-0, and they'll take an easy win 5-2 in Pittsburgh, and they will take the conference lead over Washington. And that's all I have for today. For all updates on the baseball game going on right now or the women's basketball game at 7 tonight, follow at TV2 KSU Sports on Twitter, and for any future Kent State news. I'm Mitch Meyers. TV2 will be back in 90 seconds.
From this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world. There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
20-year-old rapper Pop Smoke was fatally shot during a home invasion in Hollywood Hills. The LAPD received a call at 4:55 this morning saying that multiple suspects had broken into the home and one had a handgun. Officials say between 2 and 6 suspects entered the home and one of them was wearing a mask. Several people who were inside the home were detained by police and released, yet it's still unclear whether the invasion was targeted or not.
And Burger King just released an interesting ad campaign. It's a bit of a stomach churner. It shows its new all-natural Whopper slowly rotting over the course of 34 days. The ad's tagline reads, "The beauty of no artificial preservatives." The preservative-free Whopper is already available in more than 400 Burger King restaurants in the country and will reach all locations throughout the year. And environmental watchdogs in Ohio are calling for bans on specific de-icing products being used on the roads. Certain salts being used can be potentially radioactive to the environment. Many groups are targeting a product called Aqua Salina, which contains a high amount of radium. The complaints come despite a study conducted by the Ohio Department of Health which showed that brines derived from oil and gas have a negligible effect on the public.
And a Norton cheerleader marked a special birthday today in Akron. Emma Fouts suffered an asthma attack and cardiac arrest 4 months ago at her school's homecoming dance. Currently, she's doing rehab at Akron's Children's Hospital, while her mother has been documenting Emma's road to recovery since day one. Emma spent a packed day opening gifts and many bags of cards she received from people. She thanks everyone for their prayers and support.
Now, if we take a look into our next week of weather, we have a pretty varying temperatures going on. You see 26 degrees tomorrow with a low of 15, and then getting to Sunday, 49 degrees. That's a really big difference there, and the sun's going to be out on Sunday, making it feel even warmer. And then as we get into the beginning of next week, those clouds are going to come back, unfortunately, but the temperature will warm back up to around 46 degrees on Wednesday. So even though it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be rainy, it's still going to be pretty warm outside.
I felt like today, I kept wanting to be like, oh, it's so nice outside, it's so pretty, and like it's sunny, but then you walk out there and I'm like, holy crap,
the
I'm
sun
freezing.
does trick you. It makes you think that it's so warm outside, but it's really just like 26 degrees.
I keep wanting it to be
I was majorly tricked because of the wind too.
Yeah.
The wind was getting me. It was blowing all of my
just
jackets
blowing
off.
the hair right out of there. God. Well, that is our report this Wednesday evening. Thanks for being with us.
Be sure to tune in tonight at 9 for an all-new episode of All Systems Go. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Gianna DaPra. Have a great night, Portage County.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack.
Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.